time to read, it's time to dream. Snuggle up under the moonbeam. Well, let's read bedtime stories. Well, let's read bedtime stories.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Let's Read Bedtime Stories. Do you like puppies? Or maybe a sneaky little fox? Well, tonight's story has both, and they're about to become the best of friends. Let's find out how. Let's Read Bedtime Stories presents Three Friends. A story about two puppies and their unlikely friendship with the baby fox. Written by Ulf Stark and illustrated by Anne Catherine Sigrid Stolberg. Not fair, yelped the little Golden. We never get to do anything exciting. You're right, it's rubbish, said Hoppik. When you're a pup, you just have to stay at home and be bored. The big dogs, Husky and Big Golden, had been in the forest all day with the men from the farm, hunting a fox that had been trying to get into the hen house. Little Golden and Hoppik hadn't been allowed to go along. You're too young and childish, said Husky. You're just in the way. No, we're not, said the pups. Yes, you are, said Big Golden. Also, it's time for you to sleep so you can grow as big and strong and brave as Husky and me one day. That's right, said Husky. You little ones should sleep now, while we keep guard. They lay in the barn with the door ajar so they could see the fox if it turned up. But it wasn't long before Big Golden and Husky fell asleep, tired after their hard day's work. But the pups were wide awake. They were keeping an eye out this starry night. They could hear the hens clucking in their sleep. A rat ran past with Lilliput, the cat, running after it. The rat escaped into a hole in the woodshed, too small for the cat to get in. But then they noticed something else. A bushy tail sticking out from behind a bush. In the half-darkness, it looked like the whole bush was a big monster with a swinging tail. And that's what the pups thought, because they'd never seen a fox in real life. Can you see that? Panted Hoppik. Yes, what a giant, said Little Golden. It must be a fox, said Hoppik. They barked as loud as they could to wake the grown-up dogs. What is it? Yawned Husky. Must you make so much noise? Growled Big Golden, just when I've dropped off to sleep. Yes, said Little Golden, the fox is here. And she looks ever so horrible, said Hoppik. Just then the cat ran in through the gap in the door. The cat didn't usually like dogs, but right now it felt nice to be with them. Time for us to do our duty, said Husky. It certainly is, and you two stay here, said Big Golden to the puppies. Lilliput will make sure you don't go anywhere. And just like that, they were gone, pushing the door shut behind them. Why me? The cat complained. Because you'll tell them if we go anywhere, said Little Golden. You're right, I will, yelled the cat. That's called telling tales, yelped Hoppik. No, it's called being sensible, said Lilliput. The pups looked out of a gap between the boards. The fox was nowhere to be seen, but they saw Big Golden and Husky running so their ears and tongues flapped around wildly. Oh, I so wish we could do that, they thought, and they both gave a big sigh. The big dogs went further and further into the forest. Sometimes they were so close to the fox that its tail flicked their noses. We've got you now, panted the dogs. Oh no, you'll never get me. I'm too sly for you, howled the fox. I'm the slyest animal in the whole forest. And with that, the fox ran to the side and disappeared into the bushes. In the trees, squirrels and birds sat watching the chase. Come on, fox, some shouted. Come on, you dogs, squeaked a few baby rabbits, and then darted down their burrows. Eventually the dogs grew so tired that they lay down panting. Well, they puffed, At least we've scared you so far away that you won't come back to the farm any time soon. We'll see about that, panted the fox. The fox was a little way off. It was very tired too. During the chase, the young pups were bored. They tried to get the cat to pretend it was a fox so they could chase it around the barn, but Lilliput was having none of it. She didn't even want to be with the pups, so she lay down on a bundle of hay in the barn and closed her eyes. After a while, they could hear gentle snoring. "Hear that?" said Hoppick. "Yes, she's asleep," said Little Golden. "How is she supposed to look after us?" "She can't, so we'll have to look after ourselves." They pushed the door open just enough so they could get out. "Let's go out and meet up with Mum and Husky," said Little Golden. "Yes, imagine how happy they'll be to see us," said Hoppick. "We can tell them how long we stayed here and did as we were told." They ran towards the forest, doing little jumps of joy on the way because they were so happy to be outdoors in the fresh air. It was already getting light. The puppies' noses were being filled with new scents. The smell of warm pine needles, moss, and anthill, rotting branches, and animals whose scent they had never sensed before. The sounds were also different to the ones on the farm. The wind blowing in the trees, tiny paws rustling the leaves, something hooting above their heads. After a while, they saw a frog. It was sitting by a pond, looking at some flies buzzing around in the grass. "Hello, what are you?" the puppies wondered. "I'm a frog," said the frog. "Excuse me a sec." Very quickly, its tongue shot out and caught a couple of insects, which the frog swallowed. "My breakfast," it explained. "Was there something else?" "We were wondering if you've seen a fox and 2 dogs running around somewhere nearby," said Little Golden. "No, I'm sorry," said the frog. "I've only seen some mosquitoes, a dragonfly, and a delicious moth." So the pups carried on into the forest. "Husky, Big Golden," they called, but no one answered. Everything sounded just as it had. Or did it? They pricked up their ears and listened. They could hear a yapping, whimpering sound far away. It sounded a lot like... "Mummy! Let's go see what it is," said Hoppick. "Yes, it sounds like a member of the family," said Little Golden. "Oh, look there," said Little Golden. He pointed with his nose to an animal that had got its head stuck under a big branch. It was looking at the pups with frightened eyes. "Oh, please don't bite me," it squeaked. "Of course we won't. Why would we?" "Oh, I thought that animals like you bite," whimpered the animal. "Oh, no, we're kind," said Hoppick. "We just get up to mischief sometimes. But who are you? You're a dog as well, aren't you?" "I don't think so. My mummy calls me Fox Cub," replied the animal. "Well, I don't think you're a fox," said Little Golden. "Foxes are terribly big, about the size of a bush. We've seen one with our own eyes." "That's right," said Hoppick. "What are you doing under that branch?" "I'm stuck," said the Fox Cub. "Mummy said I should keep still and wait for her in our den, because I was too little to go along. But I got so bored, I sneaked out. I only meant to be out for a little while, but then I saw a little field mouse. It ran under this branch, so I tried to follow it, and now I'm stuck." "We'll help you out," said Hoppick. "We certainly will," said Little Golden. "Then we can play. The other dogs think we're too childish and don't know enough." So Hoppick and Little Golden set about gnawing the branch with their sharp puppy teeth. Husky and Big Golden had given up chasing the fox. They were on their way home again, tired but happy. "I don't think that fox will be back any time soon," said Husky with a smile. "Me neither. Now it knows who it has to deal with if it dares come back again," said Big Golden. "I can't wait to sleep after all that running around," said Husky. "Me neither. And how nice it will be to see our pups again." It was morning by the time they got back to the barn. They nudged open the door. It was dark inside. "Hi, kids," Big Golden called. "We're back." "You should have been there. You should have seen how the fox shook when it saw us, boasted Husky. But where are you? They are not here, said the cat with a weak voice. They ran away when I turned away for a few seconds. The dogs didn't bother giving the cat the good barking it deserved. When they came outside again, the rat peeked out of its hole in the woodshed. They ran into the forest, it squeaked. You should never trust a cat. It took a while to break the branch that was keeping the fox cub stuck. There was a little pile of wood chips on the ground. Finally, though, the pups had gnawed through it so the fox cub could get free. Thank you so much, said the fox cub. You're welcome. We like gnawing, said the pups. And now, let's play. Okay, but not for too long, said the fox cub. I think my mom will be worried. That's when the puppies thought about Big Golden and Husky. I think we know someone who will be worried too, said Hoppick. But we're not sure we can find our way back, said Little Golden. Oh, my mummy can help you, said the fox cub. She can find her way anywhere. They jumped over stones, they played hide and seek, and they rolled around in the soft moss. The puppies were so happy to have found a friend, and the fox cub was delighted to have someone to play with, because it had felt so all alone. The fox cub kept on pointing out fun and beautiful things. A spider's web, pine cones which you could roll around with your front paws, blueberry bushes, a hedgehog, and a small stream where you could drink water. Now you're going to meet my mummy, said the fox cub after a while. She's ever so kind. When they came to the fox's den, Mummy Fox looked out of the doorway. Where have you been? She said crossly, looking at her cub. You were supposed to stay here. Then she saw the puppy dogs. And what have we here? She growled sternly. My new friends, said the fox cub. Those are not your friends, roared the fox, and I'm going to make sure they get out of here quickly. She showed her big mouth full of teeth. Meanwhile, Husky and Big Golden were looking for their pups. We should have realized they'd run off, said Big Golden. Imagine if we never see our pups again. We shouldn't have left them, said Husky gloomily. They were just about to give up when they picked up the puppy's scent, but there was another scent, too. The scent of a fox. I hope it hasn't hurt them, said Big Golden. Yes, oh, they are so small and gullible. The dogs speeded up. The scents grew stronger and stronger, and then, at a forest glade, they stopped. It was the pups. They were playing with a fox cub. They were running, jumping, and wrestling in the soft grass. The mummy fox was a little way off watching. Hoppick and Little Golden, come here at once, said Big Golden. Take it easy. Let them play a little while longer, said Mummy Fox. Yes, please do, said the pups. Us dogs don't like foxes, growled Husky. And us foxes don't like dogs, said the fox. But our little ones don't seem to know that yet. So let them have fun together for as much and as often as they like. Okay. But then you must leave the farm hens alone, said Big Golden. Fine, said the fox. There are other things to eat, I suppose. Little Golden and Hoppick found a wonderful friend in the fox cub. This story reminds us not to judge too quickly, because if we do, we might miss out on someone special. The fox and his mom turned out to be kind and caring, just like true friends should be. Have you ever felt nervous about meeting someone new, and they turned out to be a great friend? I know I have. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's story. Remember, you are wonderful, you are loved, and I'll see you next time. Sweet dreams. Good night, puppies. Good night, Fox. Parents, if your little ones enjoyed this story, please subscribe and share so more families can join our story time.